Hello, everybody. Um, I'm just going live. This is going to be probably one of those long lives where we do a lot of weird stuff. One, two, one, two. What's up, Roy? Do you hear me? Fine. I hope everyone can actually hear me. According to this, the audio is fine. So I'm now using the microphone for the YouTube. And I'm using actually the Pocket 3 right now. So right now it's not tracking me. But how you doing, Roy? See? Look at that. Look at that. I have. Oh, I put you backwards. Wait a minute. You're backwards here. You were backwards, Roy. What are you doing upside down, Roy? There we go. There you are. You're part of my collection of daily stuff to wear. Me too. Me too. Um, so he finally arrived here. They sent a replace machine. So we are going to finally be able to see how this goes. I don't know. The time is not the greatest. People is driving, going home, and everything. But at the same time, I didn't want to be at the shop till midnight. For that, I usually own my other shop in my house. So let's see the tracking in this. There we go. Now it's tracking me. All right. So let's just start opening these. I don't know. You said there is only you, Roy. This is a private show at the moment. Share it, man. Send the love to people so they can probably join. All right, I want to start opening this box. So the box is completely taped. I haven't opened this box at all, so no idea what's gonna happen. So let's take the tracking off this and let's try to go there. All right, so this box is, like I said, brand new, just came in the mail, and I decided to jump like a maniac and do a live stream, of course, because why not? I was watching the video the other day. Well, I was watching live when you guys were with Blake, uh, having the broadcast. So, well, more than nothing, like how to live stream your stuff, how to do your videos and content, the content creation tutorial. There it is. All right. I see there's one more person. So hello, whoever is there. Oh, look at this. All right. All right. We have one more person that joined. So hello, hello, and hello. I'm gonna move this camera a little further here for the front. So you see, okay, this is the first part of the opening. This is what is on the box right now. Right inside the box. So I opened the box the first time. The first thing that I see in this box is the user manual. So user manual Lumos. Then save all packing material. It says that we need to save the packing material. So okay, so this is the serial number, membership activation, unboxing guidelines. Okay, it has a interesting unbox and installation guide right at the top. The membership, and that's it. I'll put it on the side. Then This is one side, Lumos quick user guide. So the knob, it says raise and lower results. This is kind of funny though. What the knob does, it raises in a lower. When you move it to raise it, I guess, what is the result? It raises the module. Lower, it lowers. This is like, I don't know, you guys remember the instructions when you buy a CD and you have a CD player or a cassette player, and you have these instructions on the back that say the troubleshooting. And basically, the troubleshooting was like, there's no audio. Oh, make sure that it's on. There is no music coming out of my speakers. Make sure that you put a disc. Yeah. So that's this page. So here we go. We create Lumos user manual. So the manual seems, I mean, the front page is really hefty. Declaration of what it is, safety, like every other stuff. This exposure safety, the Lumos WeCreat, okay. So there is the whole manual. I recommend everyone to at least give it a little glance on the manual. So this one is actually explaining how to take stuff out of the box and a couple of things here. So we're gonna put it on the side and we're gonna take this puppy out of the box. On the top, I have also a this is calibration test cards, and they are wood. Normally, calibration test cards I've seen is this black paper, like a marking paper. They send calibration test cards for on wood. So that's interesting. Is this has a camera? I don't know. It has a camera. Why you need a calibration? What it does that needs a calibration? Oh, it does has a camera. That's interesting. I didn't know that. So right now, just to give you an idea, I'm opening this box as a person that don't have a single tool. I don't have a tool on my table, nothing. So literally, I'm opening the box like someone bought it and is trying to open this box in their house or on the kitchen table. This is kind of what I'm doing right now. Like this is what you will get from a whatever person. So I'm gonna put it here, and it says to take that box out, pulling it for. There it is. Here's the Lumos. And note that I'm picking this out one-handed. It's a little heavier because everything is in here, but it's not that bad. All right. So let's see a little more. I don't think nothing super crazy, but I do know that I need to cut this because I'm not breaking my fingers on this thing. So 1, 2. There you go. Oh, by the way, I got this little guy on Harbor Freight. That was like $3, little knife, pocket knife for open boxes. So that's super tiny though. I have a love-hate relationship with Harbor Freight. I'm like you, Roy. I know that you have the same issue. All right, tops off. So that. What else we have in the box? There's nothing on the sides. There's a little hole in here. If I can reach. All right, this looks like a little bag of goodies. We have a little bag of goodies here. So, just a little bit of a backstory. I ordered a WeCreat Lumos on Amazon, and the machine arrived. Why I ordered it on Amazon compared to any other person that might probably order on the website? Honestly, because the return policy, I was a little bit skeptical in the beginning, just because they offered to send me a machine for the longest time, and they keep saying we're gonna send you. Different people reach out. We are sending you this machine so you can see this and you can see that, but nothing happens. And at this point, I was wanted to review it, so I decided to buy my own. So I bought my own, It never worked. I tried absolutely everything in my hands and nothing really worked. So I contact support. They never responded, and I return it. And of course, like every other user, I put my complaints on. I return in this machine because it doesn't work. They reach out to me and they send this machine so I can finally review it. So that's what I'm doing right now. Now, these are the angle corners that you usually use to center your materials or put your materials on the machines, on the plate that you working area. Here's another one. So there's two of these ones. They seem to be made of aluminum. USB to USB C. It's a little bended on the tip, but it should be absolutely fine. And according to the manual, this looks like a wrench, like an Allen wrench. And then we have a screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver. All right. Here is the power adapter of the brick. So power adapter is not very heavy, honestly. So I'm gonna say that it's safe to travel. I'm gonna put the bags in the box meanwhile. And that's it on a rounding, the surrounding of this. So now I'm gonna grab this. There's a little piece. Okay, so this is hard to take out though. There we go. Here is this. Here's another box. This box was all the way to the base, and there's some blanks. There's some black. This is a coated aluminum. This is a coated steel, stainless steel, more coated aluminum. This is a plated stainless steel hard necklace, leather or something like that pouch. I don't know what materials. It feels like a TPU leather. We have the regular metal business card. Here is the marking paper. This one is interesting. This one feels like vinyl. I did not know that you can cut vinyl with a laser. I believe that was very toxic. So I will need to understand a little bit better what is this for, or what is this material. So if you, Roy, you're seeing still this and you are there, can you tell me what is this material? Because it's not metal. It seems like a heat transfer vinyl. You have a steel plate, two pieces of Watt 16 basswood. This one looks like basswood as well. Cardboard, and this that looks like vinyl. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. So not very overwhelming on the samples that they sent. Very standard, really, nothing major, but it's always nice to have something to start with. So yeah, I think it's a thin vinyl, but as far as I remember, vinyl is highly toxic to cut with your laser. So I don't know what they say in vinyl. I will need to ask them. Like I said, I haven't sent an email. Now, here we have the main unit here, and I want to tell you one thing. The first thing that comes to my mind with this is, I'm going to say X-Men Sentinel. It does look like an X-Men Sentinel head. I mean, between the colors and the shield is a Sentinel. So that's kind of cool. Has a cool feel to it, though. All right. Yeah, it is. It is really cool looking. All right. So we have this guy. I'm going to take this out. And let's clear up the table. All right. So here there is nothing else. Always inspect your foams and packing, because sometimes they have like a secondary compartment. You don't want that, but you know, you don't want to miss things around. Let's put everything in the box because it says do not dispose the box. So the box goes to the side. All right. If you wonder what is in this box, that box is the guy, this guy, extension slider. Yeah, it's a slider for the cone marker Omni X. So I'm gonna put this a little lower here so we can see a little bit better what we're doing. All right, so this guy. So this is with a sun bags and it has some protection. All right, so this guy is the module. It has the lens there. So interesting. It has the two lights on the base. It's very light. I mean, I can tell you that is very, very light. All right, so this is just to avoid, I guess, bouncing around. You say that this has a camera? How? Where? I see positioning. Oh, maybe under that. All right. I'm gonna put this on the side. All right, what we have here? We have this block that is protecting some contacts and prongs under that. The rest needs to be done on the sides. So here it is. Okay. I mean, it is very well packed. I gotta be honest. It's a very compact packing. All right. Half of this and the other half just fell. All right. There's nothing else here. So this goes to the box of goodies there. All right. So we have two plates. We have the main work in. This is interesting. It has fins to make it more structural. It doesn't bend or warp at that point. If anyone knows why there is, I don't know, you can see, but there is a couple holes. There's one and two here, and the third one here that doesn't have any kind of a paint. I don't know, you guys can see it there. It's like all the rest are painted, but there are three that doesn't have paint, and I wonder if it's for positioning these guys, but they kind of look weird because they don't go with the positioning. So I wonder what that is, unless it's just a fail. The foam and interesting. Okay, so they did something very interesting that I really like. I really like this. The base plate that obviously, just like the other brand, goes in place in here. So you see here the base plate. Now, just like the other brand, they make sure that it's almost impossible to take it out of the base. So you need to always tilt the laser to push this up. But what I like, and this is something that I like that they did a fins for cutting on a base that actually fits the working area. So this is not sliding around. Yes, it's not, it has a lot of wiggle. It's not exact fit, but it still is, I want to say it still is better than having this just on top, sliding everywhere. So that was actually very well done. I like that. All right, there is nothing else here for that brand. So that is here. I'm gonna put it in here. Let's see this box of goodies. We have here. This is the back. You need to put here the 4 screws, and that's what the Phillips screwdriver is for. So they have the fan and, well, the hose that you will connect to your air purifier. I'm gonna use one of mine because they didn't send one, but I'm gonna use one of mine to be able to test it. And this is the proof of they use the space as much as they can. I mean, they must be in the military because they know how to put the socks inside the shoes. This is the power cord. This is a USB to USB-C, and this is a USB-A to USB-B, so, the USB-A. And this is just a long string for the hose that goes on the fume extraction system that you want to use. So again, I can tell you the hose on the back is just the regular hose. It doesn't have like the 4 inches that is the most standard size. So this might be like a 3 inches hose or something. So definitely you're going to need an adapter of some sort. In my case, because I know that this will come, I 3D print one. So I have a 3D print adapter to turn this into the 4 inches. This is mine, 3D printed, and this is what they come with. So you can see the size here. It's like enormous. So I just did a whole base to put on because, but right now I'm gonna use this just for now. All right, so basically we have everything out of the box. There is no more stuff. There's some foam here. Let's throw this away. So the next part that we're gonna do is we're gonna set up this machine. So I hope I can set it up on the Mac. So I wanna look for that too. I'm sure that definitely can be set up on Windows and app and all that, but I wanna do it on my Mac. Why not? So let's see here. All right, so this unit is very light, very light. This just is a motor or something, and that's it. And this is the main laser. So everything on the laser is here, which is insane. That's very compact. And I have the other brand, the green guys, and I'm saying like that because I don't want to do this in case they want to use an unbox video. I don't care. But here is this. So this is just padding. I'm gonna throw this over there. All right. So camera, Roy, you say that they have a camera. I still can't find the camera. I see a red dot laser here. I found the camera. God, it's smaller than a screw. Look at that. It was behind this, though, by the way. It was just under this. It has a little pinhole camera, the size of a cell phone. All right. Okay, so based on what I saw in the user manual that I was looking into the product setup and whatnot, go back one page. They just put this in and screw it in on the base. So that's what I'm gonna do. So let's put this guy in. So let me put it like this so you can see. Here, I don't know if you guys will see it there, but let me try. There. So here, there is like a little screw, like a knob. This is like a tiny knob here. Let me put it there. Here you go. So when you put this in, you have the 3 holes that you align them like this to fit, and then you turn this knob to tie this in place. So I'm gonna do it on a table so it's safe. So there, and I'm gonna tie this up. All right, this is tight. Feels like it now. They did provide this little tool that I found interesting and cute in a way. You pass your hand on this side, you feel that is the aluminum, this normal, but they engrave on this. So they engrave on this wrench. It's just a wrench, just a big hexagonal hexagonal wrench. So, and this has a little hole that is fit. If I can see it, there we go. See, let me show you. It just fit there. If I take it out, see the hole? Here's the little hole. That's where you want to fit this, and that's how you. I want to say don't be brutally strong with this, but just make sure that it's secure. All right, this is secure. There's a little papers here that I'm sure you gotta take this when you raise the head because there's a paper around it. But other than that, basically the machine is ready to be plugged to power. And now that it's going to be plugged to power, we should be able to just start messing with it. So I'm gonna show you what I'm going to be doing first. The fan. So I'm not gonna be using the 4-inch fan because I'm gonna be probably using this laser more into events like I do with a little green guy. So I'm gonna use still a really small air purifier, and that's also a 3 inches. But if you need a 4 inches, we did an adapter for it, and you will find it on our website soon. Now, this guy, this is a little tricky, and I found myself having issues with this before. So when you put these things, just make sure that you move it like on the side because it's not gonna let you work with the screws. So I want to put this guy. Oh, and another thing that I noticed in this, it has a padding. They put a little padding so it seals decently, especially because it's not perfectly flat, which that makes it, a lot more important. So if you are watching this right now, put a question. Ask me what I found out so far about this machine. Remember that I have this machine for almost a week, and didn't work for me. So this is the second machine that I have of the same, basically. We have some tools here that we can use because, I'm sorry, this is not as useful as this. Okay, how many of you really see the resemblance of a X-Men Sentinel looking machine? Because I can get over that right now. It's like, oh, I just need to put a name now on this thing. What would be a good name for this machine? So the little green, I used to call the little green. And I'm not gonna call this one little purple because sounds like he's losing oxygen. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move a couple of this stuff that I'm gonna be using so I can sit down with you guys and we can go through the software because the software is a whole different story that I found out. So let's take a look at the machine really quick. On the top, there is a button that I still have no idea what it does, but this doesn't move only by, this only have two functions, and there is a autofocus function here. Look at that. Whoop. Let me move this because I suck at this sometimes. So this is an autofocus option here that is interesting. The knob move left and right basically, so it's up and down. but it's not clicking like the other laser, the other portable laser. So that's a difference. So I'm gonna guess that the start the job is this button here. That's just educated guess, I guess. Then we have rotary, and it's using the connector. Look at this connector for the rotary. It's using an interesting connector that normally you find on other lasers, like a fiber laser or CO2 lasers. Now, aux, I don't know what this does or for what it is. Seems to have like a multiple use. I don't know what it is, but it seems to be like a multi-port. The USB power and on and off is in the other side. So that's all right. Let's put a little elephant nose on this. So I want to open this a little bit more. And I'm going to plug this. I might fill myself with a lot of smoke here, but I want to try to plug this into my fume extraction. I never liked these hoses. I don't know why they still use them, but let's see how it goes or how well it goes without that. I think it's gonna be good enough for now. Okay, so this machine claims to be, I'm gonna say claims to be a bit better than, well, we all know the other guy that does this. So we're gonna test it, and we're gonna also put the other guy right next to it, and we're gonna send the same job on both to see what happened. So right now, I'm gonna bring a little bit of air purifier power to my working space just for now. So here's my air purifier. So I want to take this out. I have here, let me move this camera a little bit for you guys. So I have this thing that I need to just remove it. So this makes it easier. There we go. So I remove that. And I'm going to merge these two. This is one of the adapters. I don't know if this one works with this or not, because this seems a little bit smaller than 3 inches. I really want to know what size they use in this hose. It looks tiny. It really does look tiny though. Does anyone know the sizes of these weird hoses? Because this doesn't even look 3 inches. This is like a 275 or so. Okay, it's getting there. All right, come on, get in there without breaking my nails more. So I'm trying to connect this to my current setup. There we go. These are tight. These are really tight 3 inches. I almost break my nails. And let's see here. Well, I know that this is not a 4 inches, but for now will do. Let's take this one out because I have this one with an extra fitting for another tube, because again, it's not a real 4. I just want to make sure that this fits. If not, what I'm gonna have to improvise something. Let's see how I can put this on. Oh, well, the things that we do for science. There it is. All right, so I guess we have a air purifier. There is. Let me show you what I did here. Let's change that so you can see it. Okay, so this is what we have now. So we have the back connected to my air purifier with this adapter. All right, so we have everything basically set, I believe. And they did send me a email. So I'm gonna change the setup for you guys here, so you can actually see the machine too. So I want to set you guys here. All right. So we have the machine here. So we're gonna see what's going on with this machine and what is coming off this machine. So they did send me an email and they did tell me that I need to download a couple of updates and a couple of things for this machine to work properly. So we're gonna do that because that's another thing that we suffer a lot as end users. If you don't know what is the new update, you might spend hours trying to set up the machine that might not work. So as for now, I think I'm gonna use my Mac. I think so. In fact, no, we're gonna do it with the Windows because I know that a lot of users use more Windows than anything else. So it makes no sense for me to go with the Mac. So I have a Windows laptop here. So we're gonna use this one here. All right. So we have now a laptop here that we're gonna use, and I'm also going to put some power on this machine. All right. So let's move the zoom out for you guys so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so we have this here, and the next thing that I have at hand is the calibration test cards. So what this is I have no idea. So let's see what Lumos is all about with that. And I need to check on my phone. They did send an email about it, and they did said that you have to have the latest software or it won't work. So, latest software, they said. So here is the email from WeCreat. So the newer software is a 3.0.2 and downloaded from the website. And it says when you download the software, please go to software settings and see if the new firmware update if there is available. All right, so we need to see if there is a new firmware update available after I do that. So this is actually another software, so disregard that. I know I don't want to save these files. So we are going to go to WeCreat here. And what we're going to do is I actually think I have this installed. So I want to make sure that the software has an update. Let Windows know your GPS. Why not? I'm in the shop. I don't care. Okay, so I have the software installed because this is what I was trying to do before. So I'm going to use the connection tips for USB connection tip for Lumos. Okay, I know that part. I see it a lot of times. All right, so it says that go for settings and check for the new version, check for updates. And for example, I'm using the 3.0.1, but it says that I'm on the latest version. So I'm gonna need to go to their website and download that because it's not having it here. So I'm gonna open a new window here. We create, maybe if I type, we create software. Here is we create software for Windows. Download and installations the Windows version of this software. Seriously, that's what you decide to send me to support. I want the main website. All right, this is the main website. So here we are. If you wonder what is the price of this machine right now, so this is a 3 watts infrared 10-watt diode laser. So what this machine have right now on their website. I want to show you right now their website. So there is your first order with $150 off. They are selling the Lumos right now for $1,300, and they are on a sale. Allegedly, they are on a sale that it says that is at $1,100 discount. So it's only anniversary mega sale. All right. So the basic pack, this thing is $1,300 right now. So I mean, it's a fairly good price, honestly, for a 3 watt with a 10-watt diode, because the competitor I think is about right now the same, but it's only 2 watts. Now, what is the biggest difference between a 3 watt and 2 watt on a real life applications? We're about to find that out. And again, we're going to put these two machines next to each other so we can compare the results with the settings and all that on what is going on. That's what I'm more enthusiastic about today. I really want to do that. So that WeCreat, I know I don't want to save money. So iOS, Windows, intuitive, blah, 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 creation easy as 1, 2, 3. Get inspired with AI. Premium members, so they have a lifetime free and a 6 month free premium membership. I'm not getting a premium membership, I'm sorry. There is the 3.0.2, so it's downloading. They do have the same for Mac, so I'll give it a try on the Mac, but right now the Mac is on the YouTube, so I need to do it here. So how you guys doing? I see some people connected. So any of you guys thought about getting this machine, trying this machine in any way, are curious about this machine? Anyone? Come on, drop a comment so I can help you and I can actually respond. What you want me to try in this machine, since I have it right here, right now? It's a great machine. We're about to find that out, Roy. We are about to find that out. If 1 minute left to see if at least this time connects, because the last time did not. So while that is downloading, I'm going to put power and everything to the machine. So first of all, your USB cable. So I want to put a USB cable. So I want to use the USB-A here. Here we go. And here is the machine, USB. Now I'm going to put the power. People is very shy tonight. No one want to ask anything. All right, here it is. Now we're going to put power. Here is this with power for the machine. Here is the power. All right. All right, the machine has power. Internet is 3 seconds left. So we're ready to turn this machine on. I'm gonna remove the lens cap right now. You know what this you know what this lens cap needs? Let me show you. Let's see. Not in there. Here we go. Now is complete. Remove before you use. That's what the machine was needing. So I know that I need to put my lens cap, and when I finish, grab my tag and pull it. All right, let's install this puppy. All right, so I have the air purifier here. I'm installing the software right now. I'm gonna turn this a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Yes. What do you guys say? Should I turn it on right now or wait for the installation? Oh, that was quick. You say run it. I guess I'll run it. Accept and continue. I'm in North America. Here we go. Here we go. The same message. I'm not going to put that, but I want to see on the settings. Settings. And now we're running the version 3.0.2. All right. So the next thing that we need to do now is turn this machine on. So let's do it. All right. That was a loud start, to be honest. It beep the computer. Sounds like it connects. And now it sounds like disconnects. There's light. All right, the light is nice. It's a nice addition, though. I like the. So the blue light right now is on the center hole. So it seems like the center hole is actually the center. So if you have something that you just want to do something here, you might find that the center hole is where the focal distance is. I'm gonna guess. Yeah, I mean, if the two dots are in the center, it's in focus on the base plate. All right, so we have that. So now I'm gonna go here. Let's see settings, and I want to go with what they told me to do. I don't wanna do it on my own, even though I should, because every user do it on their own. They don't have these kind of emails. All right, once the machine is connected, so I need to go to new project. Yeah, see if there is a new firmware update. Okay, so this is just how everything works here. So device, and WeCreat on USB, and it says Vision. It doesn't show me nothing here. It's connected. I know that to the machine. I hear the durum. This doesn't show anything. Device connection fail. All right, so what we're doing wrong here? Let's see again. Once you connect the machine, please also go to software settings and see if there is a new firmware update. Yeah, the problem is it's not showing me nothing about the machine. All right, so we did everything that this say. So, Roy, do you have these kind of issues with the machine when you plug it in the first time? It says that it's connected there. WeCreat. There it is. Available devices. Lumos. WeCreat. All right. Now it connects. Are you sure want to activate premium membership? I do not want to activate a premium membership. Yeah, I disconnected, connected again, and all of a sudden worked. So no idea. All right, firmware version. So I'm going to check for the new firmware. You already using the latest version. So I'm gonna guess that I'm already using the latest version. See, I usually use the Mac. I'm with you on this, and it worked fine on the Mac with all the machines that I use, but no idea. Knob calibration. They say calibrate. Camera calibration, calibrate. So I'm gonna guess that these test grids are for that. So okay, so I'm gonna do something that I tell everyone you have to do this, but I never do it really. But I'm gonna do it. So first of all, product setup. So you put this, you remove this, and take this up. I'm gonna put this down. So the problem with plastics, you know, that everyone is like, how you take these plastics off? Okay, so this is how you take the plastics off. So you move this, it won't do much. So you need to find where is the edge for the plastic if you want to take it off. And I'm gonna guess that you just rip it on the edge like so, because the head doesn't go up. I thought it would go up. Doesn't matter. All right. So the second part, it says make sure that it's tight. You remove the lens cap, install the working panel. It's installed. What else it says? Now connect it, plug it in, and select your software and networking. So I don't need any of that part. I don't want to set the network just yet. And first project. So it doesn't mention nothing about a calibration, which is very interesting. So this is what I'm going to do here. This is first project, maintenance, and that's it. So this doesn't say a single thing about the calibration, but I see here that there is a calibration, and they say surface process offset 0, and axis offset 0. So I'm gonna guess that this is a calibration process that you should do with your laser when you get it, that they don't mention it for whatever reason. I would love to know why they don't mention it on the installation card. So I don't know if the best way to do it is with this paper, honestly. But I'm gonna say that calibration is very important on every machine, regardless. So I'm gonna turn on my air assist. So right now the air assist is going. Sorry if you guys have any kind of a noise about it, but I'm gonna move this there. And I wanna try to run some sort of calibration, I guess, because it doesn't specify much. So I'm gonna push this on the back, and I wanna see the autofocus button that it was here. Oh, that's interesting. Turn off the light and move around. And I don't know if it's focusing still. I don't know if this needs to be down. I think it was needing to be down. Let's try again the autofocus. Okay, so I just hit the button and hold it, and it's doing the focal point by itself, like a testing something by itself. And I guess it relies on the camera for it. Not quite sure. Definitely new, that's for sure, and it's taking a little bit of a time, so it's not the fastest. Um, so one thing that I can tell you right now that I do like on the machine, on for a machine in this size and in this price bracket is that it has a camera for a beginner. So a beginner enthusiast or laser enthusiast that wants to take this machine for a still doing focusing. Okay, so you finish there, but also disconnected. So I don't know if disconnected for what reason. It is in focus though, based on merging both blue and red light is in focus, but it disconnect. Updating info it says, but it's Lumos WeCreat. I'm going to connect. I'm connected again. Notice, are you sure want to activate premium membership? No, I do not. All right. So things that I found in this machine so far, very good. If you are an entry-level person and you want to work with a laser on the go, number one, the price bracket seems to be right. I mean, it's something that it won't break the bank. It's very portable. I can tell you that. It's very light, very portable. It has a lot of advantages compared to the other guy. And I will have these two again. I'm going to put these two lasers one next to each other, and we're going to do some testing. I do like that they did a graphic representation of the curvatures outside, because a lot of people sometimes want to have like the whole area engraved, and they find that the edges won't really work. So this is I like that they put the representation on that. The connection so far has been a little bit clunky for me. The first machine, it was returned because it never connected. Absolutely never. No matter what I tried. This one disconnected already one time, and we'll see what happened. But so far, seems to be fine. Autofocus, I think is great. I think it's something that you must have in these days with a laser. A little bit slow, not a problem. At the same time, I would recommend if you put a material, just the knob, and there is a blue and a red light, just make sure that you put one over the other, and you should be perfect in a focal range for your laser. So that is actually very nice. It's very good. I would recommend that. Now, I want to play with the calibration. I want to see what the calibration does and what the calibration tells me. So I'm going to go again for the settings, and I'm going to assume that the machine comes calibrated on by the phone. Default on fire on the manufacturer when they fabricate this machine, they probably did that. But say warning: this function is indeed for situations where a significant camera deviations, if the current visual position is relatively accurate, within 2 millimeters deviation. So 2 millimeters deviation. And this is something that I'm gonna say yes and no. 2 millimeters deviation is a lot depending the size of your engraving. If you are working on a jewelry that it has only 6 millimeters size, 2 millimeters represents a huge portion of your engraving. So this tells me two things. Number one, the camera is not as accurate as people will hope. That's number one. And number two, that kind of reinforce what I always said. The camera is a nice help to have, but the cameras are not to replace your use of the laser. You need to align this properly by yourself. So the results are worse after camera calibration. You can click on Restore Factory Settings button and reverse the calibration data. So should we do that? Should we calibrate it and see what happened, what it does? Let's give it a try. But for give it a try, I need one thing. I just need one thing that I cannot calibrate anything without it. And I don't know where it is. I have like 20 of these things, and I don't know where I leave these things all the time. So let's see, in my little drawer of toys, It's not in this one. I mean, I guess a ruler will do, but not in our ideal situation. So what you want to do in these cases is use a caliper. So that's what we're going to use. So I have one here. All right, so we have a caliper here. All right, so we're gonna use this caliper, and I'm gonna measure with a caliper the distances on my results for the calibration. So let's give it a try. Start calibration process. So go ahead. So it says, number one, before the calibration, please prepare a piece of basswood. Calibration wood now makes sense. That means the following: at least 100 by 100. So at least 100 by 100. So you have 100. I have 109 in this. So it's absolutely at least 100 by 100. So that's good. It's completely flat. In the thickness is bigger than 20 millimeters. So 20 millimeters. This is not thickness is under 20 millimeters. So this one is 3.1. So that should do. Warning: the flatness of the material significantly affects the accuracy of the calibration. Please choose a clean and flat wooden board whenever it's possible. So flat enough. The more accurate measurement data, wooden thickness, the better the calibration will be. All right, next step. So it says, place the material on the surface, ensure the focal point. I had it done, and I have it done. Start. Are you sure? Yep. All right. So, all right. It did a bunch of different crosses. So one thing is for sure, it was fairly all right drawing the calibration pattern. So it did a bunch of crosses. I don't know if you guys see it from there really. Calibrate data at the bottom. And now it says calibrate parameters complete. So I mean, I'm sorry, but that was like completely automatic. I didn't do anything. So that seems to be good enough. Didn't add anything on it. So I'm gonna guess that that was it. That's all. That's all I have to do with this. So I'm gonna take a picture of the material. So I want to show you what a test calibration did. So the calibration card did this, and I'm gonna guess that what they did is they used camera to read these points based on the coordinates that they have in their internal memory of some sort. And when they read these, they tell you how accurate they are or where they are. Which I found interesting is that this guy is not on the center with these guys. So I just find that interesting because I don't know if that is how it should be, but hey, why not? It's not like I play with lasers every day. Yeah, it's very off. You see the red dot, and this is like very off of the center, but we'll see. So the next thing that I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna draw a circle, and it's important for everyone to know one thing. It's my first time using their software. I never used their software for nothing. So I have this here, and let's see where are the aligning. I don't see the alignment, and I don't see this going anywhere. I see a lining there, but that's about it. I can align it to the canvas apparently. It seems to need to align another object. So the center is a button that says center. So this is an center. So just because I'm curious, I'm gonna close this. This one line engrave power. So this is a 10 watts. So I'm gonna do a 60% power or 70% power, and I'm gonna probably do just about 200 millimeter per second. That should be plenty. Blue light. Start. Warning: don't leave your equipment unattended. Okay, send. So it sends. Is okay. So it has a little animation. Close your lid. It's closed, and that's the button to start. Okay, I'm gonna say that was quick. So this is what I want to do now. I want to close this. Confirm processing. Yeah, exit. All right. Now, and this is something that I did before with other machines. So now I'm gonna do align. Let's see how I do align with this. There is a line, and I'm gonna send this line to the center. Now I'm gonna make another line, and I'm sending it to the center. I want to say the same engraving parameters for this. So I have 70, and my speed in this case I'm gonna do only 90 because I want this very nice and dark. Go there. All right. So what I did right now is I have a circle and I have a cross, and I want to show you one thing because I'm curious. I have my handy dandy little ruler here. So this is what it came from the calibration, but this is what it came from what I did. So I just want to make sure how far off this is from the center because I didn't know. I don't know if this was calibrating on the center or what. So it definitely wasn't calibrating these things on the center because the distance from the ruler to this and from the ruler to this and this are completely off. If I do this again, so see, I have that cross going with the center one that I did. But if I put this on the top again here, this one is off. So I guess it's using that to calibrate the distance. So I want to see where it's crossing the center. So the center is crossing a little bit off on this. So it's using a different method of a calibration with the cameras. So I'm not sure exactly, but we're going to find out because now this was in this shape there. So we're gonna see how accurate the camera is. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna put this one here. So this circle now is a completely different position, and we're gonna take a snapshot of this and see if the camera allows me to put the element in the same spot. If I can just find where the camera is. So let's see, canvas. I wanna imagine that this is the canvas. So autofocus, and I'm gonna guess this material preview. This is for preview only. So it's just showing a picture. So that's just a random material. Metal, quick view. This is basically just previews of photos of other materials. So I wonder where is the camera, where I can see the camera in this. I'm not sure if I can look at what the laser is looking. You are not supposed to do camera calibration. Yeah, I did. But doesn't say that you are not supposed to. It says that in case it's off. And you can reset it. So there's no harm on that bridge. Um, what I wonder is if there is an option for me to see basically my material with that little camera, if I can have a preview of that. because I don't see basically nothing on the menu. I mean, I see the Canva, but it doesn't tell me nothing on the Canva that you can do something else. Ideally, if you have a camera, you can see the material and not just a quick photo of a fake material. So red light, refresh, and yep, I don't see anything. Top right, I only see the center. I don't see absolutely nothing on the top right. I see the center, color rotate. And the top right is showing me, I see the laser flat, the sliders, and everything. Yeah, red, blue light, refresh, autofocus, select material, process settings, color engraving. Not sure where I see that on this software because I don't see it here. So if you're on the video, and if you can tell me where you see that because I don't see it here. You have the option for color engraving after entering the type of material, of course. Yeah, I don't see the preview on the camera. I know that you say top right, but top right only say laser flat start, the connection for the WeCreat. We have the center, and then the toolbox and everything on the left. The framing, though, is just showing me the square for the framing. So I'm sure that I can move this to frame like many other machines now. Yeah, but it's not showing me the preview of the camera. Because the only way that to test if the camera is accurate is having the camera preview on this. It shows a material, doesn't shows a live view. Did you find where to put the live view, uh, Roy or Rich? Any of you guys, if you saw where it is? When you say the I refreshed, meaning reopen the software again, because it's not showing nothing. So let's try to open the whole software again. I want to save the changes just for now because I want to use the same. Look at that. I closed the software while it was framing and it's still framing. Refresh. So refresh. So refresh me. That's kind of a weird. Why don't say something like live preview or something? Okay, it's doing a refresh. Okay. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. You should say something different than refresh. I would imagine that maybe something like this is your project or whatever. Let's open this one and refresh it. It says that your project is used another. Cancel that, refresh. So we should have here, I know, we should have here the circle. All right, let's put the circle. I'm gonna put this circle right on top of the other one to see how off the camera is. All right, so I put it right on top. It's perfectly aligned according to my preview. We're going to mark it again. Start. Send. I'm gonna be honest. It was pretty on point. All right, 1 second. So this actually moved. All right, so I can say actually it wasn't terrible. You can see that there is a little double line, but it wasn't actually as bad as I thought it would be compared to other brands that I used before. So the circle and the lines, and this is where I get blind with my eyes. So as right now, this line is, so they say that the tolerance is 2 millimeters. That's what they say. Okay, and I can tell you right now that this tolerance is about in this one, and we're gonna do a couple other stuff. So I'm gonna close it here to measure from the center. So the separation that I have in this line is 0.5 millimeters. So they said that you have a 2 millimeters tolerance. This one so far here is 0.5. That's, I'm gonna say, very good. I like it so far. So we're gonna do something different here, another test on that matter as well. And again, sorry for my clunkiness. This is the first time that I use this machine whatsoever. So I'm gonna put this here. I will refresh this just to see it. And after this, we will jump into material testing, okay? So I'm going to put this one here. And I'm going to increase the power just a little bit, 90 over 90. Blue light, of course, again. And I'm going to send this. Here we go. All right, so I have a new circle here. So just to let you know, this one by the X is the old one. This is the new circle. So you can see where it went exactly. So now I'm gonna make in this circle a line to see how far they are from this. And I'm gonna put it in a different position, that position. So I'm gonna put it like here. I wanna like the further possible because that's where it's supposed to be more accurate or not. So we're gonna do this. I'm going to refresh this so I can see the camera. So I'm trying to see how far off the camera is. I have a bug bite on my arm. It's like annoying me. All right, so now I have this guy on my screen. Let me move this for you a little bit there. So this is the guy that I need to align now. So I want to align just the lines. I'm going to remove the circle, and I'm going to take these lines and I'm going to put them in place here. I'm going to zoom in to make sure that I'm putting this right in the center of the lines. Here we go. If you want to do a rotate, just rotate 90 degrees to make sure that you are still in the center. So I'm pretty on point here on the center, and we're doing the same. So I want to start this, send it. Here we go, and press the button. All right, so we have it there. Seems like it did what it's supposed to. Dude, honestly. Okay, Lumos, okay, WeCreat. I'm gonna say that you have a damn accurate camera calibration. I don't know if I should have or I shouldn't have to do the calibration. It was there, and I say, why not? And guess what? You sent me calibration card, so I did the calibration. But this is right on the spot. That there is nothing off on that line. There's nothing I can measure on this line. Maybe with a microscope, but doesn't point. So, knowing that, we are gonna get a little bit fancier. So, this is what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna show you in a second. So, this machine is going to be for the person that wants to go and do events and different things. So, one of the things that you saw on different events that you want to do on events are gonna be these little keychains and this, I want to say like a quick consumable items that you just put it on the laser and make some money of it. So this one has a little extra thing there, but we wanna try to make it right for this, so it's not really like in the way and it working for us. So if I put this one there, the I want to say that the level is not perfect, but because the sizing, I think that I can give away the idea of doing that. Okay, so I'm gonna use the autofocus. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the autofocus. I want to try to do this like any other person will do it. You bought the machine, you install the machine, you don't know a squat about lasers, so you want to make sure that this machine works for you. You want to make sure that this machine will work on your event. You go to an event, you don't have time. Autofocus is slow, so I will recommend always to just do the focal distance with that. The lift is very fast compared to my other show machine. So the lift is actually very fast. I like that. So look at the speed of this for focusing. This is fast and it's precise. The button feels clunky, but it's not really. It's really precise. I'm very surprised about it because the feel of the button is not the greatest for me, but I have big hands, so that's how it is. So I'm putting this here. I'm gonna take a picture of it, and I'm gonna try now to put everything in the way I will do it, how I like it, and it's going to be just a text and stuff like that. I'm not going to go crazy with designs. I don't want to waste your time on designs. So now we're going into the practical part where this machine makes money for you, yes or not. So I want to just level with this. I'm not using jigs and stuff, and I do have them, but I'm not gonna use them yet. I want to do this as a normal human being. Okay, so let's go here. So we have that there. So I want to take a picture of this, the refresh option. Thank you, Roy. You told me that was the refresh because on the top right, I was looking for a camera. So things that I see immediately on this camera and that I can tell you that is a little bit uncomfortable in some cases, and it's going to be because the height. You see on the camera this halo on the bottom because the camera is on the front, it's not right on the top. So the camera is watching this through an angle, and they will have an algorithm to correct that once you laser. That is normal. So I want to imagine that that is part of the thing here. So in shapes, I'm going to create a circle, letter C. I already learned that. And I'm going to create a circle first here, and I'm going to move it to the area that I believe. So I don't expect this to be super, super precise. Circles are always an issue, always a problem. But I want to make a circle here. Then I see that there is a offset option here. So I'm going to make a little offset, and I'm going to make the offset like this really quick. So I'm going to confirm that offset. So now I have this. And knowing what I'm doing here, I'm going to do subtract. So now if I go to fill engrave, I will have that circle. It's just the same concept of every other laser. I don't know if they have a curved text option, but I'm gonna use this here, and I'm gonna put this text right here. So I do like that they have the same alignment system. I'm gonna put fill engrave as well for now, so you can see it. I do like that they have the same alignment system that other softwares in design software it has. That it gave you that option of I'm gonna say it's giving me the option of aligning to the element that I have before. That's very good because that simplifies your job if you're doing something. So I'm putting that there, and I'm gonna copy and paste this, and I'm gonna put here now fall. Hello fall. So fonts, how fonts work on the material. So I'm gonna guess that it's picking up some fonts, basic fonts for my system. uh, I'm sure I don't have the font name Milonga, but it might be coming with the lasers, just to let you know. So here is this. So hello fall, and I'm gonna move it just a tad. And I'm gonna choose another font for this. And let's see, what about? I actually like this Ramiro one. Sure. And they do have also the option to say the font for the system fonts. So that's good because that's one of those things that we suffer a lot with the lasers, what fonts we can use or we can't use with our machines. So I'm doing right now this very quick just to see. Imagine that you are on an event, you're on the show, someone comes and says, like, can you put my name on the kitchen? Here it is. Just throw a name on it. So I'm gonna do settings similar. This is a 10 watt, so I'm gonna do the settings like the ones I do normally on my F1. So I'm gonna say here 80% power. I'm gonna do an 80% power, and I'm going to do 80 on the speed. So passes normal, and this is interesting. The line density on the text. So this is basically the DPI. So I'm gonna do 160 DPI. I don't know why they're doing DPI on text because usually text I use it on like a raster vector or something like that. So not sure about it. But that's basically what it is. So just for shit and giggles, I'm gonna frame it. So it's framing right now. So I actually see the circle very. I'm gonna say that the framing in the circle looks very on point. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this job. So I'm gonna start the framing, and I'm gonna start the job. So here is the preview. Hello fall, and they have a rectangular framing on outer contour framing that you can see it there. So it's surprisingly with the camera. I'm gonna say it's still with the angle that this has. The camera is very very consistent, and that's very surprising. I'm sending this job. So there is it's probably a little bit overkill power because I noticed that this laser is marking a little darker than my F1. So I say it, F1. So this one marks a little too strong for me in some cases, but that means that it's a good laser. That's no other thing to say. So it's marking fine. It will be probably a little bit slower on the processing. And I do see on the marking that the smoke going out is leaving that little black marking that I don't like much. But at the same time, also that tells me that the fan is strong enough to pull it. That's what it's doing these marks. So I'm gonna actually cancel this one, and I'm gonna change my settings accordingly. So I'm going to almost triple the speed. I'm gonna say 180 on this one, and I'm gonna show you this. So it's not super deep, but I wanna call is the caramelization of my wood is weird. It's melting the lacquer or something that this has on it. So, but it's not too deep. So this could be better. So I'm gonna do it on the back really quick. So science, I test the part with the camera and all that. I'm not wasting a lot of time on this. So I'm going to go to the start option, and I'm going to the outer contour, and I'm going to just wiggle it like this. I already test the camera, so there's no reason for me to do the whole lining and start. And I'm gonna just now send it really quick, and and this will be more like the speed that I will send it for this machine based on the power that I'm seeing coming on the output. I like the power though; it's coming with a good output, which is good. So there, this is going. You can go faster. Yeah, I like a little darker engraving on the wood, so it will depend on each person. Um, Fume extraction is working. I feel like the fan, and it's because I didn't took that fan out. The fan with the air extraction that I have here, they're kind of fighting each other a little bit. So there is that. I feel like there is no working together in this, but that's matter of configuration. That's no problem in the laser. That's my setup basically. So this is going still, and it's a little over 50%. So the marking is very well. Is I can see it is super consistent, and it's going only one direction. So I will need to play with my settings because I haven't changed nothing. This is out of the box. I put it out of the box, install the software. I never use the software, but it's doing one direction engraving, and this should be omnidirectional to save time. uh, Still, though, is very consistent. By the time can be shaved in half, very easy. So it's almost done, and I want to show you what this looks like. The camera, I'm still blown away. I really like the calibration that they have in the camera, regardless what that is mine with the wrong calibration over theirs. The logo lights up, but you can see there is a little bit of a smoke building up in there. There is process completed. So, I mean, I'm sorry, this looks absolutely fine. It has a little bit of a melting top layer on this. It still is deep enough that you can feel it. It shouldn't be this long. It took long because it's only one direction. This is the one that I was burning on the beginning, and you see that it melted too much. But this is good. I have one more here that I want to give it a try with a different setting. Uh, there is a couple of things that I found interesting in the window when it's engraving. So one of the things that it says that do not pause the machine during the operation to prevent transmission on air. So I want to guess that they don't want you to have those problems with extra line or something like that that came out. So I want to see a couple of things here because let's see. Vector precision, I would do the vector precision absolutely if it's possible. Fire alarm low, that's fine. I don't care about the fire alarm right now. Constant power on. And tilt alarm, knob calibration, I don't know what that will do. Surface offset, no. Center line on. So I don't see here an option really for the double pass or bi directional engraving. It doesn't tell me a bi-directional engraving in any way here, so I'm not quite sure what that will look like. But I have a couple other options here, so I want to see this. So let's see what it says on the star. So one of the things that I did notice is they don't have a way to change the resolution of the software. The framing is good, is giving me good results, honestly, but doesn't seem to have a way to change the resolution of the software. So if the software is not perfectly on the Windows, I'll show you a trick that you can do, but it's not on this. So I don't see here any way to change to bi-directional on the top of my eye. So let's see, settings is opening this, North America, again, previous selection, auto alignment. I don't know what that is. Edit device name. I don't care right now about this device name. Contour enhance. Okay, knob calibration. Constant power. Yeah, I don't see here an option for a bi-directional engraving, which you can save a lot of time on that, really. So the line density, it can be bi-directional though. The line density seems to be only the line interval. So I'm talking about going left and right during the engraving and not just left to right. I don't know, you know where they can change that option because it's not on the machine settings. The machine settings doesn't show a bi-directional engraving. It's only one direction. I know the line density does basically, how many lines per inch or per centimeter. There is a button on the main screen for bi-directional on the main screen. So when you say the main screen, you talking about this screen? This is the main screen though. Then we have the recent projects, purchases. It's a new feature. Oh, so they put it like a new feature. It's just something interesting. Yeah, I never use anything from WeCreate, and I have the Vista sitting on the box for about 8 months. That's a whole different story. But I don't see it anywhere here. I really don't see a bi-directional. Just came with the latest update, right? I'm gonna guess that in some way, probably, but I don't know where they have that because it doesn't show here the bi-directional anything for the materials. So it's not really the bi-directional option. So that will speed up your engraving. But let's put this one back on, and I want to engrave the same thing. I'm just going to change this because it's just a text. So I just want to optimize the speed on this a little bit, just to be able to have something more into the use part for a user, right? So I want to do 340 with 100% power in this one pass, and I'm lowering to 100 lines. So turn on processing settings to see it. Processing settings. everything is on in here, and I don't see the processing settings. Rich, you need to remember that I haven't opened this software ever on the main screen. Okay, the main screen settings. Is not in here. And on my stuff, it's not on my stuff, and then it's just discovered that is their software. So what screen you want me to go, Rich? Because you say the screen, but the main screen for me is this one, and then I have the settings that opens this. That is the WeCreat information and everything. So this is the main screen that I have on this software so far. Maybe it should maybe it will be different if I have a Mac connected. But in this screen there is nothing, and then there is the project that I'm watching into the project, and they don't have anything in here either. Yeah, they don't have. It's not in here anywhere. I don't see any of that you're mentioned. So processing settings, that's what you're wanting to see. So okay, the only reason that came on is when I turn off. I deselect the element. So when you deselect this and go completely off, and you don't have nothing selected, so it's not really a main screen. It's when you don't have nothing selected. That's where I see processing settings and say scan simultaneously, and then scan mode unidirectional to bidirectional. So that's where it is. Thank you. But it's not on the main screen. It's unselect everything to be able to have it. So you have the auto pan, and by layer, just like almost every other software. So I have it there. It's supposed to be working now. So I want to send it, and how fast this will go now. So there it is. Let's click it. So now we're talking. Yeah, now we're talking something that you can just put on the event and make a lot of money if you want it. So this is so far. So that finish and the timing processing complete. So this screen is annoying because it doesn't show me the rest, and it's because the skyline on basically the scaling basically on the software. So and here is with the proper settings and everything. So just a tad off to the right, I'm gonna guess, but it's actually pretty good. This is pretty. I'm gonna say that it's pretty centered to me. So this works great. So this is more like a walnut, and yes, I have a jig for this guys too. Here we go. I'm putting this guy there. I'm gonna close this. So now that I have this guy, I'm going to shrink it, and let's see how it goes with the small text. So I'm going to refresh to see the camera. I'm gonna say again, the camera is very impressive on this machine. I'm very impressed by this camera. I did not expect that. So I'm gonna align this just a little bit. Let's see if I can rotate this a tad. These two, and I'm gonna rotate this just so the snap function is kicking me right now. Oh, this rotates like a pre-default amount. So my rotation is here in the angle. I get 0. And I'm gonna just move it. It's nice, you can move it with the keyboard up and down. So here it is. I'm gonna copy this and paste it. Let's see if I can paste. Oh, that was interesting thing. Know what I selected. So I'm gonna select this, copy with the keyboard, and paste. There we go. So I'm making just these two images there. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I just want to make sure that this wood actually burns very fast. So I'm gonna try to just engrave with the settings that I use on the keychain. That it should be the same settings as this part, not the settings that I use on this one. So as this is in there by directional start, this should work just fine. Start. Okay. So you can see that there is built up a little bit of smoke, but that wood, because it's darker, is not doing much of a coloring on it. So I'm gonna change it, but it's smoking more than this one. So I'm gonna see what it did. So since it's smaller, definitely lost some definition, but it didn't do what I would expect to do because the type of wood. So I'm gonna change this really quick just to try to give it a better look before touching this and removing. Definitely we need more lines. So I'm gonna do 180. So 180 is the lines, the speed. I'm going to lower the speed to 250. Leave it in 100 power, and I'm gonna send it. So this is going to burn it, but we'll see. All right, now this is making it a little darker. So it's getting there. So another thing that I noticed that I like in this machine is the transmission data that I'm sending from the USB to the machine is very quick. So there is not a lot of delay for the machine to pick up the information before actually doing it. But it's working great though. I mean, the fan is not enough. The fan is very weak. Personally, you can or upgrade the fan, or I will say remove the fan and connect your air purifier to let it work because I feel like the fan is restrictive. It's almost done, and this now did a nice little carving on the wood. Now, I don't know. You guys noticed that when it finished, it goes and do a redrawing around the lines. That's a very interesting function. I usually do that with a Lightroom, and I put a second layer or a second pass just for the outlines, and that define the text and the information. So that's a trick to keep everything better. But you shouldn't be doing it if you don't want it. So I'm sure the outline can be turned off here because I saw it here, and I'm gonna say that this is one of those, say, contour or something here. There you go, contour enhance on the settings. They have that option for the contour enhance. If you turn that off, it will just finish the engraving and leave it as it is. If you do the contour enhance, whatever you did, that is basically a vector, I'm gonna guess, it will do an outline to make it sharper and look nicer, which is a good touch though. So here it is. I think it's a nice engrave. It has some depth to it. You can actually put your nail in it and feel this. So small text is still you can read it. In my case, from this distance on my face, I need my glasses, but you can read it. All right. So before we jump into something else, I have a couple things here. Um, so I'm not gonna use a jig. I'm just going to throw this guy there. So these are the cork stoppers. They are a great seller. We do have the jig for this, but I wanna show you everything without the jig first, so you can see it. I'm gonna click this for autofocus. I'm gonna close the lid. I'm gonna hold a button on the side. There's a little square button, and it's gonna do a testing for the autofocus. So I'm gonna do that. Wine cork. Wine corks are inexpensive, very good sellers. You should definitely engrave on a wine cork. Now, this specific wine cork is coated and it has a silver color underneath the black, which is very, very nice. I'm going to say that it's one of those really nice things that I didn't know existed. So I want to refresh this to have basically the cork in there. I'm gonna select one of these text here, and I'm gonna just grab this and I'm gonna put this right here. So again, so far the camera impressed me, and I'm gonna just go with that. Now for this one though, I'm going to use the red light laser. Um, so I noticed that when I changed to the red light, I lost the thickness of the material, but I see that this is still basically in the right focal distance. I need to refresh now because I move it. There it is. So I move it, so I need to refresh the image to make sure that I put the circle in the right place. So, yeah, I move it. Hey, so I'm gonna say that is it's something that you just gotta remember a couple steps and make sure that everything is in the right position for you. But let's see, power 100%, the speed for this. So I'm not sure what will be the speed in this. I normally do this on my fiber laser or I do it on my UV laser, but I want to go right now with probably 80 speed, and density 180 I think is fine for this. And I want to just hit start, and I'm just winging right now. uh, I'm just trying a setting. I don't know the setting on this. So I'm gonna go start and I'm gonna click this again. And oh, seems to be working just fine. I think I nailed the settings though. I didn't try it, but I kind of try it. So it's doing right now the engraving on a cork, and this especially cork stoppers are coded. So I have a black one and I have another one that is reflective that reacts a little bit different. So I want to show you how this goes. For the results that I'm seeing, you can probably use a higher speed, uh, more than 80, probably 120, and you will be fine. The quality is coming beautiful. You can see it actually on the video. It's almost done. So if you're going to an event and you're gonna do this, you might go with a faster and higher speed. There it is. It looks great. A little off. I just put it in. I didn't do much for alignment. I should frame it, of course, but it works great. So now let's do this one. Oh, sorry. This one here. So this one is a little different, but we're gonna see what it does. So I'm gonna frame this, but I'm gonna frame with the outer contour. So I'm putting it in place that I feel looks better. And now that it's there in place, I'm just gonna send it. I didn't change the settings. Normally when I do it on the fiber laser, this worked fine. I just want to make sure that this will work as well fine. So a little tip for everyone: fiber lasers and infrared lasers overall, they work on the same wavelength of light. So they both are 1064 nanometers. Uh, the difference is the condensation of power. So this one Corks sells great on events. They're very inexpensive. You can buy it in all kind of colors. We have all kind of colors in the store, and this machine is doing it great. I didn't change the settings. I just want to go with that for now. But I feel like this is one of those things that you can make money with this machine. And events, you sell them in a couple bucks, and you spend 20, 30 cents. So that's definitely something that you want to keep in mind. Well, this is almost done and looks, I say, it looks just great. Anyone have any question? Again, I'm trying this machine. This is WeCreat Lumos. Uh, I'm about to bring the X tool to do some testing side by side. But yeah, it cleans fine, and it does. There you go. It does a very good job, in my opinion. So I'm gonna put this on the side. All right. So the next thing that I'm gonna do here is gonna show you some letters. So for that, I wanna take this plate out. We take the plate out. So for this machine, I did a little adapter here. So now I can use my other jigs from uh, the other ones that I use for X2, because the size in this one is just a tad bigger. So I'm gonna put this here so I have this and I don't need to throw them on it. So one thing that this jig has is like the same level of this jig is the same level as the leather patch. So you just level on the center and you should be absolutely fine. So here's what I want to try with this one. And it's not necessarily engraving a whole image here, because again, I don't want to, I don't think you, oh, I found it, Rich. I found where it was. So let me tell you where that is on the software. So if you are on the main screen with nothing on Windows or whatever, just deselect everything. Just click on the space so you don't have nothing selected. When you don't have nothing selected on the screen, that's where it appears right here. But you need to have everything unselected. You just click on an empty space to have it there. If not, it's not showing it, which is kind of a weird for me. They couldn't just make it better, you know? All right, so I'm going to refresh the image here. So for me right now, it's not about engraving the patch. The reason I have the patch here is because I want to do a specific test. You see the line around the patch, and basically uh, the stitching, I want to make a square and put it in between these two lines to see how accurate the positioning of this machine with the camera that I see represented here is. Because as for now, I'm seeing my leather patches and everything, on the right place. So this machine, one of the main things is that it's precise. That's what they advertise. And I'm going to say it again. I'm very impressed with how precise this machine is so far. I use many other lasers with cameras. I adapt all kind of cameras and lasers, and this one is surprising me right now. So I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna just grab here shapes, and I'm gonna do with a rectangle, and I'm gonna create a little rectangle from here, and I'm gonna go here is my little rectangle. So of course the photo has a little bit of a camera distortion, so I'm trying to do my best with this. So this round corner seems to be like about 3 millimeters. Oops, that's not the round corner, it's the top one. 3 millimeters. I think that's a good number. Yep, that's actually kind of a perfect number. So I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste this other one. And I know you will say like, why you want to waste two perfect patches doing this? It's not about wasting the patch, because if I don't know if this work for me, I will be wasting more than these patches. So I'm gonna close this. So again, I have two patches here, line engrave. Power is a 10 watts. So I'm gonna do the power similar to what I do on the X2F1. And yet again, the settings that I'm using on the F1 are not as effective as they are here. My settings in the F1 didn't burn some materials that I already burned here, like this. So I want to give it a try here. The speed on this, I'm going to use 100. And only one pass. So it's just a line. It shouldn't be too dark, but let's make it darker. There you go. All right. So I'm not going to frame. I'm not framing. I'm just sending it. Ready? I'll be down. It really, I'm trying to see it. So when I move it like this, it's because I'm trying to see it. I'm blind, okay? Don't judge me. So look at that. It really went in between. This line is a little bit closer. I'm trying to put it, if you put it up, the light doesn't let you know, but it really went in between. Let's see the other one. This one is a little shift. It was like this, so it's a little shift to the left, but it still is into the area that I was wanted. So that's very good. That's pretty accurate for me. If I'm doing a small work on this, that's pretty accurate. All right, so I have that. Now I'm not going to boring you with the jigs and everything, but I do have the adapter. If you want, it's going to be on my website tomorrow, and you can put all the jigs that you want in there. Now, here is something that we're gonna do. So this machine excels evidently using metals compared to our good old F1. And that's where you want to play with this machine. If you want to do jewelry, you want to invest your money on a quick jewelry machine or something that you can do on different events. I want to take the other side too because I don't want this to melt. So when you do jewelry, thank you, Roy. You have a great night, man. Thank you for joining. When you do jewelry, everything is about your settings, how fast you can engrave, and especially if you can get a nice marking on this. So this is a stainless steel card, test card that I use normally. So we're gonna test here a little bit of the infrared and how good the infrared is. So here is the card. Uh, I'm focusing manually because it's a lot faster. I'm gonna put it like this. Here we go. So everything is about your. I'm gonna say everything is going to be always about the quality of your engraving on metal with the infrared. So I want to close this. I don't care much where it is. I know that the camera is accurate enough for me to just refresh, use whatever is on the view, and I'm gonna be happy with the results. I know that right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a text here, and I'm gonna say Daniel. Oh no, let's be a little less Daniel. Let's do we create. All right. So we have this little text in there. Let's put it like this. I'm gonna put it here in the corner first. So one of the settings that I use normally on my F1 is fill engrave. Definitely, that's one of the things that I do. I do 100% power because it's only a 2 watt. So you want to do 100% power. And normally, depending on how much I need to mark this for selling, I do 3 to 5 millimeters per second. All right. So I want to do right now the 5 millimeters per second. I want to do only one pass. I want to see how it goes. And my lines per interval usually is 260. So I guess I can do a 260 here as well. And that's matter of a preference. This is something that you would choose, something that you will like. So I'm just going to send this text there right now. Start. I'm doing exactly what I would do on my F1 to see how well this one behaves. So I'm gonna go with start and go. So okay, it's doing a marking, and the marking actually looks pretty promising. Of course, bear with me. This is a three. This is a 5 millimeters per second. So it's gonna take a second. So if you're joining, say hi on the chat, please. So we can talk a little bit more of what you are expecting to have on a machine. Are you looking at a machine for events? You're looking at, on a machine for maybe your house or for a hobby? So just say hi on the chat. Let me know what you are looking to get a machine for. Is this machine the one that is going to take the crown on the events? We're finding that out today. It's kind of a long life. We're 2 hours in, but I want to make sure that I test everything that I can test, and you have all the information that you need to know if this will work or not for an event. Now, I noticed something very interesting on the processing that I'm doing the text that I'm not sure if I like it, but I'm gonna see it in a minute. Um, it's moving left to right, even with the empty spacing. It's not jumping from where the font is to the next part of the font. It's counting the movement with the laser off to one side and one side. So it's just panning. So I'm gonna change that in a second just to see why, but I think it's something on the settings. I'm not gonna torture you during this, so I'm gonna cancel this and change that because that is going to take long, long, long. So here it is. Let's. I want to see what it was doing. Oh wow! I'm gonna tell you one thing. These settings don't do this on my F1. Look how rich it is, and didn't heat up enough to mark it on the back. Oh no! I'm gonna put it here, and I wanna see something on the settings because scan simultaneously, scan by one. I wanna try that right now. And based on the results, I'm going to optimize a little bit my settings. And I'm going with my settings based on the results. Okay, so number one, I'm gonna lower a little bit of the lines because that's not that many lines, and I'm going to increase just a couple milliseconds. It's still 100% power. So I'm gonna send now this. I just changed how it operates on the scanning. I wanna see what it does. It still does the panning on the whole thing instead making only one line. But it's a lot more efficient in what it's doing on the text. I'm an impatient person, especially when I see something that is working on a way, but it's not really working how I want it. I'm gonna do something that I will put on jewelry. Let's say this text, okay, and I'm gonna put it just up here. And because the size, normally on a jewelry I use not that big of a size. Normally it's 3 to 5 millimeters. Text. I don't do like a huge text on the on jewelry. So that will do. This is a different font and it's very efficient. So I'm gonna raise the time or the speed to decrease my time. So I'm gonna send it now again. So you will see that it's a little bit more active as a light right now. So it still is doing the panning completely left to right. It's not doing just where the fonts are. And that might be because the type of font, I'm not sure about it. I feel like it's wasting too much time on that traveling. I do like the result. And it's doing now the outline. And that's it. So it's not hot enough to be doing much. I feel it, but it's not rough. This is what it did. Let me try to put it with a little light. So the whole process took about a minute or 2 minutes. You can feel it. It's not super rough. I will probably speed this up a lot more. Let's let's try to do that. Let me see where this is. So I'm gonna put it under and let's speed this up. I want to double the time now. Same power, same lines, but I'm gonna double the speed. So I want to see the difference on the quality of the material. So, especially the quality of the engraving. Okay, it's almost 50%. There's not much difference. There's a little bit of variation, but I think we can go even faster. clean it. There's no much difference. Actually, the second one looks cleaner on the engraving, and you can barely feel to the touch. The other one you feel it more, but this one barely. So let's go faster. Now, to your questions, will I recommend this machine? I'm gonna say so far, yes. Will this machine replace my X2F1? Well, I gotta be honest in this. I'm gonna double the time. So now I'm going a little bit brutal on time. I'm gonna do 40 millimeters per second, and that's it. I'm gonna start the process. It will replace my F1. It will stop using the F1 and transfer to use this one. I gotta be honest with you. This one is doing a lot better. At least so far, in what I'm testing, it's doing a lot better. These are things that I normally do on events. Just a name on the necklace, or things like that. So I'm just cleaning it with my finger. Normally, I use a little cloth on this. This. All right. So I'm showing you this here. I don't know if that will show you better there. So I want to say one thing. This one here, the one at the bottom, is normally kind of how I do my jewelry, especially on events. That is kind of a high how I like to do it, not fully black. Uh, but I don't have nothing to say. I feel this one. Barely feel the middle one, but the bottom one is like it's there, but it's not something that it will catch with the fabrics and stuff like that. So I like that. They did send some goodies here, and this is what we're gonna do. Uh, we engrave on dog tags all the time. So I'm gonna throw a dog tag here, or a pet ID tag, if you will. I'm gonna put this here, and just for the sake of putting this better, I need to make sure that it will work, because this is one of the things that we do a lot. Engraving on pet ID tags or dog tags or stuff. I can see my I can see my fingerprint on it. So let's say that I do this and I put the name of the pet or the dog here. So I'm gonna move it like this. So I'm using the same setting because that will be the jewelry setting for me. So I'm doing the setting. This is an item that I will do on the when I'm on an event and I want to sell something. So this said that the estimate time is 54 seconds. So I'm gonna go with that. I mean, it's going pretty fast, and I'm doing it on a chrome, basically stainless steel, chrome plated, and it's coming pretty nice. So do I recommend the machine? That's a hard one for me. I'm still debating if the experience is what I wanted from the machine. I need to learn the software. Definitely, I don't know the software as much as I should to be able to recommend using this software against anything else. Uh, but for the basics, I never use the software, and I'm doing some stuff here and there. It's working for me very well. Took a little under a minute, and I'm gonna clean it really quick for you guys. So this is what it did on the stainless steel. You see the difference on the coloration on this. So this is very much what I will do for anyone that is asking me for a pet ID. I will do it like this. The camera is a little different to see it, but seeing like a straight view, I see it. But you see there all the reflection and all that. This is a mirror. This is my eyes there. So try to find something that doesn't have colors. So this work. It's less than a minute in work. So yes, Rich, I can use Lightburn. You are absolutely right. The purpose for me is not to use anything that people don't have. A lot of people have been having no complaints but requests of do stuff with their own software or with what it comes on the box. If I can actually make money with what comes in the box, I don't want to add more stuff into my laser. And that's what I'm trying not to use my jigs on it and not to use nothing. I have the adapter for my 4-inch hose. That is the one. I have the adapter for the back, but I didn't do it. I tried to use the hose that they provide with this thing. So I want anyone that is watching or will be watching this video, I want them to have the experience of the machine, how they buy it, and what they use. Not a curated experience, if that makes sense. So we're gonna put this one here, and there is one thing that I don't have a single clue how to do in this machine, but I'm very intrigued by it. They have a test grid somewhere, toolbox, I guess, material tesseract. So they do have a test grid for all this stuff. So select material. I'm gonna go metals, and I'm gonna stainless steel. It's a 1 millimeter stainless steel, so there is out of band bi-directional, and I'm gonna do color engraving. After entering the focal distance processing parameters according to the material test result, view instructions. So these have a whole material test result thing, and color engraving test. Blip blip. Okay, let's do the color engraving test. Cancel. So here, color engraving test. Would you like to watch the video tutorial? No, I'm sure I should, but no. Next step, I did the focal. Yes. Okay, manually. So I want to make sure that this is in focus here. All right. So again, I'm doing this like a random person that doesn't want it. So power 100%, speed 60 millimeters, row 5, column 2, line density 300. So I'm going to say columns 3. So and I'm sure this is going to take a minute. Uh, Put it there, submit. Okay, so it says that. Okay. So it says that this is there. Select and position. Okay. Select and position. It's a little bit too big. All right, so we have this. I want to position this by hand. It's going to be faster right now. So I have it there. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go with send. All right, so I'm going to hit start. So this is doing something on this piece of metal right now, which is all the numbers. And this is a very interesting thing because I saw the head moving to start basically the engraving. So this is doing a color test based on a preset values or parameters on how the machine will work. That is, I'm gonna say, very handy. If you ask me what you should do to have a color engraving and how the color engraving will do, if you have a software like this, because there's another company that does that in their lasers, but they don't provide something this simple. You are still finicky with a lot of different settings, which is right because they teach you to do it. But I want to say that this is actually pretty exciting for me to see what it does. Again, this is a metal a card, like a stainless steel. This is a really thick stainless steel test card that I usually use on my fiber for testing a couple stuff. So this is definitely doing something. I mean, I see different shades so far on the color. The shield doesn't help, but this is one of the things that they promote the most. They are heavily actually advertising color marking with this laser, and one of the things that a lot of people says is like it's only 3 watts. Why you can do color marking with only 3 watts? There's some techniques that you can do color marking with a 10-watt diode laser. So don't let don't let companies that try to run everything as they want to say is the rule of thumb for everything to tell you what is possible and what is not, because there are techniques. I mean, Rich, he tried many different techniques and he showed many videos doing different techniques and live streams and everything. So there are many options. So you have to learn those techniques. How's your experience with this machine, Rich? Besides the review part, like the use experience. Glad to hear. So the first machine that I got from WeCreat is still in the box. It's been like 8 months and it's still in the box. The second machine that I got was this specific machine. Uh, I bought it out of pocket. I didn't receive a machine, and it didn't work. I tried to reach out to them. They never responded on the emails. And when I put a review on, in this case, Amazon, one of their sales reps saw it and said, like, "Let me send you a machine for you to check." Yes, that's one of the things that I do normally on my MOPA. I do the autofocus thing for different stuff, and I raise it. And depending the distance that I raise is the temperature that I'm gonna have, and that will affect different colorations as well. This one is, I mean, I think this is probably the easiest color marking machine I ever use. Is doing colors. I'm very surprised. Anyways, the rep reach out to me and say, "Oh, okay, I'm so sorry this happens. I send them some of the emails that I have with WeCreate and everything, and they send me the machine for testing and see if I like it, and I wanna, of course, I need to upgrade my review." And not just because they asked me if I want it or not. They didn't force me to anything. This is not push for WeCreate for me to say anything. But I'm testing the machine and I decided to do it on a live stream because I didn't want them to think or believe that I didn't do what I could to have it working in different ways. And there's nothing better than a live stream. In a live stream, if works, it works. If doesn't work, doesn't work. And I'm going to say that I'm loving it. I'm converted. I mean, it's doing color marking. And not only that, it's doing color marking on the fraction of the time of a way stronger lasers that I have. This is very interesting. And I'm completely agree with you. I don't think there is a better portable machine right now. Okay, I want to take this card out. Now, three things that is important to know to understand. Color marking is not something that magically works. Also, the quality of the metal, the temperature of the metal, the environment, even the humidity of where you are can affect your color marking. But I'm gonna say that I have almost a greenish of aqua, a blue, and some browns tint to yellowish. Could it be better? Yes, I need to use another test material for this, but I'm in South Carolina, so everything is blue. So I got the blue that I need right here. But even with only these few colors, and I can increase the amount of range that I want to go through. Even with just these colors, it's really really good. Let me show you one thing. This right here is my first ever attempt on colors with a MOPA, with a lot stronger MOPA. After I learn a little bit more and I fine tune everything, this is my pattern of colors with the MOPA. And I was literally looking for very vivid and solid colors. And I'm finishing my library to share with everyone. Uh, so this took me a couple weeks to get it right to have these colors. This came out of the laser the very first time that I used it. So, as Rich says, it might not be any better portable machine out there. So we're gonna do something here because I want to now compare color marking on the same metal that I'm doing it on my MOPA, and that's only fair, because why not? So I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna level this really quick. I'm gonna add some stuff to make sure that it's level. Here we go. So I have the color MOPA here, and I want to create a new color text. Would you like to watch the tutorial? I'm sure not. So I have this one that is telling me what it does. And it gave you a color ID, which is very interesting. Line densities. So it's line density 300 power percentage. This is very, very comprehensive system that they put together. So number or column numbers, I want to say 4 in this case. The color density row number 5, 100, and speed. You say speed 60. I'm gonna lower the speed just a tad because speed is very important on this. So I think the speed needs to be a little lower for this power, at least personally. So I'm gonna do just 3 like I did last time. Next, I'm gonna close this. So I'm going to manually and this to the coloring that I wanted. I need to put this one down. Here we go, and now you gotta go here. There we go. Now we are in business. I'm gonna close that so I don't lose my eyesight. Send to the laser. So now I'm doing the test of the color marking right on the same steel that I did my other color marking, and see how it goes. So I did something that I don't know if anyone noticed, but I wanna cancel this operation. I don't think anyone noticed what I'm missing. The focal distance. Exactly. You got it, Rich. There you go. I did not. Now I focus. Color testing. I like that they have a color testing video and everything. Next step. So this is going to be the speed a little slower, 3 columns instead 2. Next step, I need to move it to the right placement. There it is. Send. I mean, look at how quick this is. All right, now it's doing it. I noticed when the numbers didn't do squat. All right, it's going now and strong and solid. So it's very interesting because this actually defocus automatically after it does the numbers. It goes down, makes the numbers of what is basically the color ID that it's going to be using. Once that is done, what it does is like whoop, moves up just a little bit and start the color marking process. Uh, there is nothing more automatic than that. That's great. So you are looking for a color marking inexpensive. I'm gonna say inexpensive because a mobile laser, they're serious numbers. If you're looking for a color marking that works, um, I'm gonna say get a mobile. If you want to do it right. But there's other brands that are trying to sell right now the idea of a color marking for $6,000, and you don't need to spend that money. You have it here. Of course, it will be faster. It will be richer colors probably on a bigger laser and whatnot. But I think this laser is covering a lot of the basics that we want as a portable machine. Remember, this is a portable machine. This is not a workstation. See, I just slow the speed a little bit, and I can tell you right now that the richness of the color and also the quality of the steel is very important. This is very, very exciting. All right, we're about 50% done. And I can say you can speed up the process. I slowed the speed a little bit because I have better results with the slower speeds on the MOPA that I have normally. But this doesn't seem to suffer too much on that part. So, all right, we are about 70% done. The shield doesn't help to see anything, but I would like to see from WeCreate that they put a preview because while the machine is going, I'm on the testing screen and I send the job and it just keep repeating the option of close it and press the button, close it and press the button. It would be nice if they probably put like a color marking bar that is just feeling, kind of a telling you what's going on or some sort of animation that makes it more visual appealing. I think that would be nice. They can use the same character that they use and just fill it up with colors to go with a percentage of the processing. I think that would be nice to see. But other than that, the software so far seems okay. There's a couple of things that I don't like how they name it. Like refresh for me doesn't say camera. If you say something like real time preview or camera view, even if you call it bird eye, but refresh for me is refreshing the software. All right. Okay, so and this is what I'm telling you about the quality of the material, and this is very interesting on numbers at least. So remember, these are color IDs. So I need to play with this color more. So look at this color, blues. There you go. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it perfectly, but so it got a different coloration in some of the things. It's a little bit better. And some others, it didn't do much in some others. This one is getting into the reddish coloring with the blue. But again, this is a really hard steel and also very polished. So we send the same test grid than this one, and we got a different results. And it's not about the machine having anything wrong. This is just about the color marking is not the same for everything. So metals react completely different on the color marking. And this is the best example. These colors, even the blue that I have here, is completely different than the blues that I get normally. Especially this one, this cobalt blue back here in the corner, that I think is a beautiful blue. So we're gonna do one more thing, and this is just for the sake of playing with the laser. I was wanting to put a green guy right next to it, so I want to bring it here. I'm going to compare a couple of things. I'm gonna put power on it, and I'm not sure if I have the software actually installed in this machine, the new software for Excel. But we're going to, let's see. I want to download it while I'm connect that. If I can make it work, I can make it work on the Mac. So we're gonna do it with the Mac because it's faster at this point. All right. So we're going to reconfigure that table for 1 second because this is where everything gets interesting. I think the interesting part is to compare the two lead machines on the market on portable equipment, and see which one actually does better with the same settings on the same scenarios. So that is what we are going to do. So you want to know what machine to buy? Are going to find that out very, very soon. And I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to put this machine here. And I want to move the camera for you guys so you see a little bit better the machine itself more than anything else. So I'm going to do it like this. So we have these two little guys here. We're gonna use a couple stuff here, and I have the Mac there that is going to connect right now to this one. I'm gonna put power on it. All right, I'm gonna put power cord in here. Gonna turn it on. And I mean, you can tell that I use this machine all the time. So I'm gonna take this out. And these are my jig makers for these machines that we have on our website. And these are actually made of metal. Here we go. All right, so we have the two machines basically there. I'm gonna grab a card on each machine. And I'm gonna grab a fresh test card, so we know that we're doing this with a brand new, and just put the plastic of this. Here we go. Some are like a little harder than others. So again, X2 machine is a 2-watt infrared laser. The Lumos from WeCreat is a 3-watt infrared laser. They both have a 10-watt diode laser, so I'm not testing the diode laser, even though the power that comes on this one show me that it's a little bit overpowered. So they're saying 10 watt. It might be kicking out a little bit more. I don't have a way to measure that here, but it feels with the settings that I was using, that are the same settings that I use on my X2, it feels that it was a little bit overpowered. So I think it's a little bit more than 10 watt. Rich, if you know that, please put a comment there, because I'm not quite sure about it, but it feels overpowered compared to the F1. So I'm going to throw this one here. So X2 is not turning on and off, on and off. There is power. There is. The emergency button was pushed. All right, so we have these two right now. I'm going to open on my Mac the X2 Creative Space to be able to just send a specific thing on it. So I'm gonna focus that one. We're going to focus this one. Focal speed is a lot faster than this one. That I can tell that much right now. All right, so this is what I'm going to do in this. So new project, really quick. So I'm gonna connect to the X2. Let's see if I can see the X2 really quick on the Wi-Fi network, or if I need the cable. I think I'm gonna need my USB cable. So WeCreat actually, sorry WeCreat, you send me a cable that I'm going to use right now for this. All right, so I'm gonna try to do it with this really quick. My Mac use a whole different thing, so I need to do it in here, I guess. We're gonna download the software from X2, so we are on the same boat about that. Well, that is certainly annoying. So X2, here it is. So yeah, my software didn't really work. So yeah, I'm sure on Liburn is the same overall. They tend to have that be a Liburn because Liburn controls better really the power output compared to other machines. I'm gonna say. So we need the actual studio. So this is for Windows. So it's a quick download, luckily. So all right, so we have here the X tool, and we have here the Lumos. So far, I've been a lot more impressed with the results that I've been getting on the Lumos that I've been getting on the Excel. Not just on the engraving, but also I do like the color marking that is basically out of the gates. Number two, the detail that I'm getting on. Let's see if this catch up on the engraving and the speed. I I'm very happy with that, especially the speed. You are on an event, you want the speed. That's definitely what you want to do. Um, I'm not 100% sure that I can connect these two lasers at the same time on the same computer. They might be using the same driver, so we're going to check that. I have problems before with other machines. That is correct. That is absolutely correct, Rich. 1 watt doesn't sound like a lot, but once you do on wattage overall, is a lot more power. So 33% more power of what you used to have is a big difference. So that is something to consider when you are thinking on do I want to spend 1200 on that or I want to spend 1200 on that, depending on which one you want it. So I'm gonna try to open the studio and see if everything goes fine here. Really quick. Yes, of course I agree to this. I don't have many other options. I have read and I agree. All right, it's loading and we are here. All right, new project. Select the device. All right, so I have everything here and I'm going to select my device. Got it, and it's not connected via USB, so I'm gonna go to the settings USB. There it is. All right, skip. I'm gonna say something really interesting here, Rich. I don't know if you notice if you put a new Expo Studio, they now have the same curve on the corners, like very evidently, not just a square area that that WeCreat has on their software. I don't know when they changed that, but they have it now. I had update Expo in a minute. All right. So I'm actually running the latest firmware on this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to put a text. This one say hello, so I'm just going to put here portable. I wanna engrave the same word on both machines. Okay, portable, and I wanna use the same basic font, infrared. So I'm setting X2. I'm gonna put here 100% power, and I'm going to do the same millimeter per second that I did in this one. So I'm going to do 40 millimeter per second, one pass. Okay, with the engrave, of course. Let me finish here. Speed 40, the same speed that I did. Lines per centimeter. I'm going to do the same, 160 lines per centimeter bidirectional engraving, and the size of engraving is going to be only 10 millimeters. Probably a little bigger, 15 millimeters. So we can see it better. So this is there. So now what I want to do here, I'm going to just frame this image. So I see here the little frame, and I want to move it to have this just on one part. All right, so I have that one. I want to process that one. So it's 20 millimeters per second. The font that I'm using in this, or the text that I'm using for this, is just a really basic font, nothing of the ordinary. It's called Lato, so I'm gonna actually make it more fair. I'm going to go and change this for, where is the never good Arial, a plain, just a plain text, so there is nothing weird. What do you say here? I heard Excel scramble to increase. Yes. Yeah, I heard that too. I have no idea. I have no idea that they're overpowering that. I heard that as a rumor. Uh, I have no idea. So I'm processing right now this. Here's the Excel. Got it. Start. There goes the Excel. So it's doing that engraving while the Excel is going. I'm gonna do the same here. So I have this, and I want to put a text. The text that we choose to put is the word portable. So Excel finish, portable, and we decide to put this basically Facebook Excel finish in 18 seconds. Okay, finish. So that's in there. So the word portable, we select Arial in the size of this text. I actually kind of like a little bit better the controls that I have on this, the width, the height, and things like that. I think I like it a little bit better, but we'll see. 15. Oh, I did it without proportions. So let's put this back to what it was. Although the software feels a little bit clunky in a couple of things, to be honest, I think Lumos needs to increase their game, or step up their game a little bit on the framing, a little bit on how really this does work as a software. I think it's okay. I like the order a little bit better. It's more intuitive for me, especially as a designer. But I do see what it was. So power, 100% power. The speed, we did 40, and we did 160 lines. 160 lines here, 160. Here we go. I'm gonna close this, and I'm sending now to Lumos. So send, and basically both are doing the same speed. The processing timing is the same in both. What we're gonna be able to see, I'm not taking this out yet. What we're gonna be able to see is which one did the with 100% power on the same timing. All right, so let's open these two. I'm not gonna clean it. I'm gonna grab it as it is. One, the top one is X-Tool, the bottom one is Lumos. Whoop. Look at the difference on power. Yes, you will say, yeah, but X2 looks cleaner, of course, because this one is overpowered for what it was. That means that you can go a lot faster, actually. This is the same power, same font, everything. Let's pass the finger to take a little bit of that nasty burn out. So, all right, they're both now clean up. So let's see if this picks up a little bit there. All right. So this one feels a little bit more than this one, number one. And depending how I see it, the bottom one, depending how I'm seeing it, it looks a little bit more dark, and sometimes the EXO looks a little darker. So from the standpoint of a person that doesn't do a lot of lasering, and for the standpoint of making your money, the bottom one is the WeCreat, the top one is the X2. uh, I'm gonna say that they are pretty even with the same settings. The difference is that this one you can actually feel it more than this one. Now, I normally don't like to feel the engraving on metal because rocks and stuff when you clean it just kind of a catch on it. But this one is darker on my eyes. On the camera, they look alike a lot, but visually, in person, the bottom one looks a little bit darker. Yeah, that is true, Rich. So I want to give this one. I want to say that if you are on the market for a portable laser, and you are looking for a machine that it might give you better results and faster results, I think you can achieve both things with both machines. But at the same time, the one that is gonna give you the best bang for your buck is going to be Lumos. There is, I think this machine has more value for your dollars than this machine. Even even if you want to say why this is that difference, this is only 1 watt. 1 watt, like Rich said, is 33% more power. That is a lot. So as a little extra thing, I'm going to do this acrylic. So we did the acrylic on the event last weekend for Jeep, and we did the acrylic, of course, with the infrared because that's what you want to do is acrylic on the infrared. So I'm gonna put this name here. I wanna make it a little bit bigger right now. So there is. So I could use the camera, but I don't want to use the camera. All right, so I want to change for infrared right now. So we're gonna go in infrared here, power, and I want to change this to 2000 millimeter per second just for why not? Start, send. Now, keep in mind, I did the acrylic on this one during the event with only 200 millimeter per second. So I'm just going stupid crazy and putting 2000 on that. I don't think it will work because I normally do 2000 on a fiber laser 20 watt. But let's give it a try. Why not? Well, in this thing, wrong. Of course, it's probably not the greatest ever. but I can't feel it. It's just coloration on it, and it's there. 2000 millimeters per second. I was engraving this in 200 millimeters per second. This is the 1% difference that it will make your money. Oh, this is about the same thing, because these are a little warped up, by the way. So when I put it here, I notice that the blue light and the red light, they're still on top. This time I check. Yeah, no, this one is warped up. That was a little bended up. But 2 millimeters, 200 millimeters per second on an event, when you have 10 people buying these things, is a lot. So having something that goes this fast is just great. So that's it, guys. I did the whole unboxing. We talked through whatever it is. We set up the machine. We test the machine. I learned to use the basic on the software. I'm gonna play with this software because I kind of like a couple of the things that I need to see more in depth. But here are the two little guys that you can buy right now for engraving on the go. All right, guys. So my opinion, and this is a complete honest opinion. All right, if you want to make some money with events, you need to be quick. You need to be faster. So yes, you can take larger lasers. You can take different other stuff to make money. But the reality is that you want something, number one, that is designed to be portable, because sometimes they advertise a machine as portable. But guess what? Not because you can lift it means that it's portable. So keep that in mind. Lumos is a little bit bigger than X2. Yes, it is. They also gave you just a tad bigger working area. 1 extra watt on the infrared, I think it's completely worth it. I think it's something that you should spend your money if you want that extra. The air purifier. If you want the extra, I think it's like a 60 $80 more than what is extra right now. I'm not sure. I will need to check the pricing. They are on sale right now. I don't have an affiliate code. I don't have absolutely any of these for you at the moment. I will ask for it. Normally, affiliates don't cost you a penny more, give you a discount as well, and give us some money back to us so we can keep doing these kind of things. In this case, the machine was sent to me for a review after I have a bad experience. And I gotta say, I'm very happy that they did, because a lot of people can benefit from this machine. I didn't want to recommend the machine whatsoever. Now I'm completely converted. I want to say, buy that machine instead buying the other portable laser on the market available right now, X2. X2 is still is a great machine. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I just did an event with my F1 Ultra and with my F1. Um, I'm not confident enough right now to still run everything on the WeCreat, but it's working great. It's faster. It's getting better engraving. You give me more options. I have that camera that I don't have in the other one. I mean, geez, it's just a couple bucks more, and I get a lot more as a machine. Seems to be a lot more mature equipment for on the go crafter. All right, if you want to say it in that way. So check them out. WeCreat is WeCreat.com. I used to put an E at the end, but it's WeCreat without an E. Uh, Check their sales. So far, the only machine that I can say that I thrive truly from them, and I have an experience on how it's working, and it's an experience for a couple of hours, is the Lumos. It's working great. Go check them out. Thank you for joining tonight. I saw people coming in and out and everything. Leave comments on the YouTube, like the YouTube video, please share the YouTube video, subscribe to our channel to basically help us helping more people. And if you need adapters, you need jigs and different other stuff for your Lumos, we have them on our website. Go to alivepixelcreates.com, check what we have, ask me a question, and fire the laser. See you, Rich. We are getting out of life.